Hi everyone, my name is Cherie Flick and this is my new channel, Click with the Flicks. I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada with my family. I am a wife and I'm a mom of 3 beautiful kids and I love photography. I thought for this first episode of this channel that I would tell you about my journey into photography. And for me, my journey started when I was 15 years old. At the time, we only had one little grandbaby in our family, and so this was my first niece, and her name's Chloe. And we were watching her at the time while her mom and dad were probably off on a date, and it was Christmas time. And my mom said, "Cherie, go get the camera and take a picture of Chloe in front of the Christmas tree." So I went and got the point and shoot camera and put Chloe in her pretty little dress and got her in front of the Christmas tree. And I took her a photo, and I probably took, probably like between 5 and 10 photos. It was film at the time, so you don't take too many photos as opposed to digital. So took some photos of her. She was super cute, and my mom took them off to probably Walmart and had them developed. And when she brought them back, she really thought they were cute. And before I knew it, she had blown one of those photos up into an 8x10 and put it up on the mantle. Now, when you're a little kid, getting your picture hung up on the refrigerator is a big deal. You're like, whoa, I made it. Mom likes my work. But when you're a teenager and your work ends up on the mantle, that was a huge deal for me. And, I look back on that photo and it's not the greatest photo. It was taken on auto. There was nothing fancy going on. And it probably had bloodshot eyes. Who knows? I haven't seen that photo in a long time, but I was really proud of that picture. And I thought, okay, maybe I can be a photographer someday. And so from there on out, I kept telling everybody, I'm going to be a photographer. What are you going to be when you grow up, Cherie? I'm going to be a photographer. So after high school, I started taking some photography classes, and I was using a camera that I had purchased off eBay, and it was a Minolta Maxim, I believe is what it was called. And I was so happy to have that camera, but it was film, and we were entering the digital stage at that time. So I took the classes with this camera, and my teachers taught me a lot, and they said that my photos were good, but I could always improve. And a couple of years went by, and I met my husband, who is my fiance, and he ended up buying me my first digital camera, and it was a Nikon D80. And that camera, I thought I had hit the big time when he brought that camera home. And I was like, oh, this is so nice. Like, I'll have to go take pictures of flowers and who knows, like sunsets or something. And, I'll hang them up on the wall. And he's like, no, you studied photography and you like faces, you like people. So you need to go find people to take pictures of. And the thought of that just terrified me, even though he's completely right. I like to photograph expressions and, capture people's beautiful faces on camera, but just having them in front of my camera terrified me, because you never know how people are going to react to photos of themselves or of their kids. And he was really the push that I needed to get out there and be brave and click the shutter in front of them and deliver these photos to them. And for the most part, I got, I was received well, but I could always improve. And so after a couple of years of being married, we ended up having our first baby, and I was now a stay-at-home mom, but I knew that I needed to still pursue photography. And so I started following other photographers online, and I saw what they were doing and what people were liking. And so I started to model myself after them. Some years go by and I'm still doing that. I'm still taking pictures the way that they are. And it seemed like I wasn't really getting anywhere. And I really felt like I was in a slump. And I would tell my husband, I don't want to do this anymore, even though I knew that photography resonated with me. And I just didn't know how to get myself out of that funk. So it wasn't until probably 4 or 5 years ago that I started taking some additional photography classes online. And that was what I needed to open my mind that there isn't just one way to photograph people or, you know, this landscape. You don't have to shoot this way. You don't have to edit that way. Just because it's successful for these other photographers doesn't mean it's for you. And so for me, I had to find how photography spoke to me, how it made me feel. And from there, like, things started to change. So I knew that I could no longer rely on following this way that other photographers were shooting and editing their photos. I knew that I had to make it my own way. I knew that it was going to take time, and it did, and that it was going to be hard, but it was worth it. And, you know, where I started when I was 15 years old, taking pictures on auto of my niece, Chloe, you know, just simple, straightforward, click the shutter. Now I'm taking photos of Chloe with an expression on her face where you end up looking at Chloe and wondering, what is she thinking? And I love light. When I entertained the idea of starting a YouTube channel, I thought, you know, I've struggled with depression in the past. I think most women do. And I thought, well, maybe I could make a channel about finding joy again. But there was something that just didn't feel completely right about it. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't it. And I know that photography is my life. I love to take photos. I love to capture that moment and freeze it and hang it up on our walls. And I started thinking, well, photography is all about light. And without light, there is no photography. But the neat thing about being with so many people on, you know, doing photo shoots or this YouTube channel is we can all be a light, just like photography depends on light. So when I'm doing photos, I always try to take the light into consideration because you have to in photography. And I love putting the sun behind my subjects and just having that little peekaboo light or those little peekaboo sun rays that literally light up the photo. And it's not that it takes over the photo, but I feel like it is a good accessory for the subject that I'm taking the photo of. We could all use light in our life, right? And for me, it's a little bit of symbolism in my photos that when people see those photos, yes, their eyes do see that light, but first they're gonna be led to the subject that I'm taking a picture of. And with that little glow of light, you know, it just helps brighten them up. And so for me, you know, that's my way of sharing my light, my love of photography, my joy, my peace, my happiness. When I share that light in their photos, that's me sharing my light. And when I hear back from people that I've done photos for saying, thank you so much, I love them, they are so beautiful, or I'm going to use you in the future because you did such a great job, that's me sharing my light. And I know that I shared it in a way that maybe they really needed it. And so my hope with this YouTube channel is, as I take you along for the ride of my photo shoots, you know, we're probably going to include some behind the scenes things and seeing how I shoot, seeing, you know, my subjects. I will also include my kids and my husband because they're a part of my light and they're who help mold me. And through this YouTube channel, I hope that you can see our light and we can all be a light to each other. like I mentioned earlier, I have a wonderful husband, and he is my rock, and I love him so much. And I also have 3 great kids. They are William, who is 10, Millie, who is 8, and Nora, who is 5. And they're getting so big, and their minds are growing every day. And I hope to include them in this channel. They really want to be a part of this channel, and I hope that you will be kind and welcome them onto this channel as well. And I just hope that I can share my love of photography with you and that it is received well. And so with that, I will close this and just ask you to please like this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel and click some memories today. Thanks, bye.